Welcome, everyone, to the Viewing Angles podcast. I'm your A-host, Dan Leo, and with me, as always, is...
the B-host, Robert Mecki.
Yes, and today we've got a very special episode. It's going to be our fall preview episode. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through some of the movies coming out this fall, typically one of the biggest film-going seasons, and talk about everything that's going to come out. We're going to be splitting up into two sections. The first section is going to be the Oscar bait section, all the stuff that might get awards later. We're going to go through those, telling you which ones, the big ones that are coming out, which ones you should probably see once the Oscars come around, you'll have seen the good ones and you'll have ignored the bad ones, which is always the point. Because every movie in the fall is it's going to be the big Oscar movie. Yeah. That's what they're going to pitch you on. And most of them will not get Oscars. Yeah. That's the fun part.
We are economical moviegoers here, so we're trying to help you save some money by telling you which ones you probably shouldn't see.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we see all the movies so you guys don't have to.
Exactly.
That's kind of the beauty. I don't know anybody who sees as much movies as myself or Robert.
Yeah. We make the big sacrifices.
Exactly. So... we're going to do the Oscar bait section first, telling you which ones are probably going to get Oscars, what to be on the lookout for. And then we're going to go into the flick section, because there's a lot of good movies that come out in the fall, specifically designed just to be blockbuster movies. Yeah. There's not a Star Wars movie coming out this year, so it's really open season. A lot of different IPs coming out with big budget action movies.
Yeah, a lot of people trying to take that December slot now that Star Wars has left it vacant.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of big budgets that are going to require a lot of people to see it to make the money back. So you're going to see some marketing pushes, especially in the next couple of weeks. So let's get right into it. Let's go. We're going to go through kind of all of the movies that we see that are going to be the big ones you're going to hear about. And then we're going to kind of recommend a smaller dose if you don't want to see all the movies, because some of them do look like they're not going to be that good.
Yeah.
Some of them are definitely getting a lot of buzz coming out of the festivals and getting good reviews off the bat. So
yeah, so let's start with the ones coming out the soonest.
Yeah. So for the Oscar bait, let's kind of go through A Star is Born. It's the third reboot of this movie.
Oh, it's the third reboot?
Yeah, exactly. The first one was about movie stars. Second one was with Chris Christopherson and Diane Sawyer.
I thought that was the original.
Yeah, it's Barbra Streisand.
Yeah,
that's the format that this one is taking from, but that one was like a reboot, the reimagining of a 1930s golden age of Hollywood movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so this is going to be the directorial debut for Bradley Cooper. It's getting really good reviews coming out of TIFF.
Crazy good reviews.
Crazy good, almost unanimous acclaim.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I feel like this is going to be a big winner.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Oscars, I think it's going to be. I could see some Lady Gaga possibly winning an Oscar for it.
You think Bradley Cooper is going to be up for Best Actor?
Possibly. I think I would be very surprised if he ended up winning. But I think part of me feels like this is not going to be a season where we've got one actor who has been nominated a bunch of times and they're going to finally win for a movie that's not that good. Yeah. I think it's going to be a very open season for that. I think from all the performances I've seen so far this year, you've got a few people really making strong showing. You got Ethan Hawke in First Reformed.
Yeah.
You got, Bradley Cooper, Ryan Gosling is being talked about. Steve Carell, a lot of people who are kind of always floating around that's a pretty good actor, but never like the Leonardo DiCaprio, been robbed every single year.
Yeah.
Type.
But Steve Carell, he was nominated for Foxcatcher already, right?
Correct. Is Foxcatcher, I think he might have been nominated for The Big Short as well.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
and
Big Short was a surprise when I came out. I was not expecting it to get nearly as many nominations as it did.
Yeah, but it was just a very watchable movie.
Oh, yeah. Edutainment.
Edutainment, yeah, really the best. If that movie came out today, it would win.
Yeah.
We're so into edutainment now as liberals.
Dead liberals and their true crime stories.
The biggest true crime story of all, the financial meltdown. So that's looking to be a pretty solid movie.
Yeah.
Coming up for the next. Let's just like move through all of them, and then we can talk about the ones that are going to be real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's Beautiful Boy. This is Timothy Chalamet from that movie. What was it called?
Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah.
He plays a meth addicted son to Steve Carell's father. A lot of talk for Oscar nominations for Timmy and Steve Carell. It looks like this is going to be one that's like, hey, you want to feel sad?
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be it.
I think it's going to feel triumphant because I'm pretty sure that, I mean, this is based on a true story, and I'm pretty sure that the author and the son do like book tours now. So they must have mended their relationship, which is kind of a bummer. It's like, it's kind of sad knowing that what the story is gonna resolve it by the time this movie comes out, just because like the authors are so prolific at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the performances are going to be great. Timothy Chalamet is a fantastic actor. So is Steve Carell, and I love seeing Steve Carell branch out into more dramatic material now that The Office is officially over.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. It's going to be kind of like classic Oscar bait. I don't see it really picking up too much, especially considering the rapport that we're getting with a lot of these other movies.
Yeah. And like, I think if this came out any other year, it'd probably be a much higher contender. But it's also just, it feels like a story that we've seen and heard before. So we'll see, unless like the performances are really, really top notch and that affecting. I don't see this movie getting nearly as many Oscars as some of the other ones on this list.
Yeah, because we've got a lot of not like big budget, but a lot of, I think the movies that are going to do really well are going to be wide released movies. We're getting a lot of Oscar contenders who are getting straight to like wide release.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is going into all the theaters. So
yeah,
I'm surprised and happy about that. And let's keep the gravy train rolling. Coming out the same week, that Beautiful Boy comes out October 12th. First Man is also coming out October 12th. So this is La La Land's director Damien Chazelle is returning with his muse Ryan Gosling, who's playing Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. Hope you've taken a history class before.
Yeah.
Claire Foy is his wife, Mrs. Armstrong. Don't remember her first name. And then Corey Stoll is Buzz Aldrin. It's got a decent, like,
oh, I didn't even know Corey Stoll was playing Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah. And Kyle Chandler is going to be...
That's his name. I was going to say, who's the guy from Friday Night Lights? I was like, Kyle Chandler.
Yeah, I think he's playing Deke Slayton, who is part of the original Gemini project, who became like a big command or
wasn't he mission director,
ground control. Yeah. So he became like big in the administration roles after the Gemini project.
Yeah.
So it's getting a lot of like good reviews. When I first saw the previews, I was kind of like, there's no way that this is going to be good, because it's like, we know what happened. Like, it's not like a tragic, like it's...
Yeah, just like with Beautiful Boy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like I was more hyped when I heard, one, I'm a huge fan of Damien Chazelle.
Me too.
I'm curious to see what his first bad film is going to be, if he ever does end up making one. But to me, this came off as like, this is like a modern adaptation of The Right Stuff, except it's not 3 hours long. Yeah,
and The Right Stuff was amazing. Especially, I felt like The Right Stuff was almost... It's different because it was a story that nobody really knew. Like, oh, the first astronauts.
Yeah.
You know, here's everything that went into that. And it also had an amazing book to back it up. This is kind of like, everyone knows, yeah, he made it. He was the first guy on the moon.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing, is like, not a lot of people know of like what the stresses were. And like, I feel like we take it for granted now that Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, but this feels like that story that's going to tell like, hey, when they went up and when they all signed up for this mission, like, we didn't know really what was going to happen. And like, the tagline is like, the story of the most dangerous mission ever undertaken. And I was like, yeah, I believe it. Like, this is the first time we've actually left Earth's atmosphere, landed on the moon, and tried to come back.
Yeah, and they had like, Richard Nixon had speeches written for what happens if they lose an astronaut in space, like if they can't bring them back.
Yeah, like if those people are just left on the moon, and they knew that one of the risks was just, what if we just are stuck on the moon and have to starve to death? Like,
yeah, probably die of carbon dioxide poisoning first.
Yeah.
Oof. So
just take off your fucking helmet at that point.
Yeah. The thing that's really gearing me that made me excited about it is Mission Impossible Fallout. There was, when I saw it in IMAX, there was an IMAX trailer for the first man, which was the ignition flight sequence. Mm-hmm. And it was super intense. I'm going to see this one in IMAX.
Dude, yeah. Well, just think about Damien Chazelle, I feel like he could make someone like toasting bread look intense. Like if you can make a musical drama like Whiplash as intense as it was, you can make anything intense.
Oh yeah.
And I like the progression of Damien Chazelle's career too, just how he's gotten more and more of a budget with each release. So I can't wait to see. I don't know if I would qualify this as a blockbuster yet, but I can't wait to see him direct a full-blown blockbuster.
Yeah, he's definitely getting into the range of, you're somebody to watch. Yeah. That you've been doing amazing things so far. And he's also got that writer-director vibe. I don't think he wrote this one.
I don't think he did either, but I know he wrote Whiplash and La La Land.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, it's his thing to lose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see Ryan Gosling coming out with something for this. I feel like he's always been on the back burner of doing pretty good movies.
Yeah.
And then he kind of took a dip where he's like, I'm not going to do too many intense movies. And then he is coming back now. And we're seeing that he's a good actor.
Has he ever been nominated?
For a movie called Half Nelson, which is very good if you haven't seen it.
Ooh, I have not seen it.
He plays a substitute teacher who's addicted to crack. Yeah, so it's really good. He's also, I think one of his better roles. Half Nelson is of course, that's when he became an amazing actor.
Yeah,
I felt like he was also the first movie he ever did is called The Believer, where he plays a Jewish Nazi, a neo-Nazi, and which is a very interesting. I think it's actually on Netflix still. But he's very young and he plays a Jewish kid who gets very into Nazism.
Very radicalized. How old is that movie?
That's I think it's over, I think it's 15 years old.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was his first, it was 2001. Yeah, 17 years ago.
Wow. Because Ryan Gosling's not that old, is he? He's still in his 30s, right?
Yeah, he's definitely still a young guy.
Yeah.
And he's been around forever.
Ooh, he does look really young. Cool.
Yeah,
I will have to check that out.
Yeah, he's 37, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how he does in this movie. Looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah, and again, the reviews are already great, so I'm pretty confident in saying this is going to be one to watch for awards season.
Yeah. So going around another movie that's coming out. It's actually coming out a little bit later than that. It's Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen biopic, the Freddie Mercury biopic. What do we want to say?
They haven't really decided on what it is yet. I think it's supposed to be a Queen biopic. And I think that's this is actually one of the things I heard about why Sacha Baron Cohen dropped out is because he wanted it to be just a straight up Freddie Mercury story. But the producers and the remaining band members of Queen wanted their, understandably, they wanted to be included in the story as well. But Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to focus more on Freddie Mercury.
And he wanted a hard R Freddie Mercury movie.
Yeah. We were going to see some gay shit in Sacha Baron Cohen's version.
A lot of intense. Yeah. Apparently he would have, Freddie Mercury would have parties, big gay swinger parties where little people with trays strapped to their head would walk around with trays of cocaine.
Yeah, I believe it.
That you could just take. So I'd be very interested to see that movie, but that's not the movie we're gonna get.
No. Have they rated this movie already?
I think so. I think it's PG-13.
Yeah. Ugh.
I would believe it. Yeah, exactly. But who knows?
He was an extravagant, gratuitous man who deserves an extravagant, gratuitous story.
Oh, definitely. But I'm very interested to see it, especially Rami Malek is looking the part pretty well.
Yeah.
He's obviously not as beefy. He's a little skinny boy.
He's a little skinnier, but he's got the facial structure. And once you put that mustache on him, I was like, yeah, it looks like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. And it looks like from the trailers that at least his acting is pretty good, but I still don't know if I buy it that much. I've heard inside scoops that there is some buzz for him. I like Oscar, which,
Yeah.
That could just be them gearing up the campaign.
I think it is. I think it's just them gearing up the campaign. And like I think any big musical biopic we see like this, you're gonna get at least a nomination. But I don't think he has really a shot at winning. But I mean, honestly, I don't think this movie's gonna be that good either. Like if we're going by like Metacritic or Rotten Tomato scores, I would predict somewhere in the 50s.
I would say for the Metacritic, I'd say like low 60s.
Yeah.
General, like 2.5 stars. But everyone's going to be like, oh, Rami Malek was really good.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's not singing, I think really...
That hurts it.
It puts more of an onus on, we got to see, like, you got to have really good acting.
Yeah.
You know, because all the major biopics that have gotten... like musician biopics that have gotten Oscar wins, they actually do like a lot of the work, you know. Ray Charles, Jamie Foxx winning for Ray Charles, he was doing the singing and he was amazing.
Yeah, and like Joaquin Phoenix with Johnny Cash.
Yeah, doing very well.
And I think a lot of it too is just when you have lip syncing in a movie like this, where like the actors are trying so hard to embody the people they're portraying, when you cut away and just have them lip syncing, it pulls the audience out. Like even if, I don't know, no matter how good of an impression they do when they're not singing, people watching are still going to be like, oh, well, that's not that person singing. This is like the original track.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not super interested in how good of a movie it's going to be. I think this is really going to be see it for Rami Malek.
Yeah.
Because he's probably going to get nominated unless it's really bad.
Yeah.
I think he gets a nomination unless it's really bad.
I mean, and it could be a fucking mess. Like with all the production troubles that this movie's had. This movie could
Bryan Singer left.
Yeah, this movie could be chopped to shit. So that's another reason I don't have too much faith in this.
Yeah, I have faith. I think Bryan Singer is a good director, despite the fact that he's an accused pedophile. Yeah. So I don't. I think that this movie could be good, but I'm not super hopeful on it.
Yeah,
I'm more interested than hopeful.
Yeah, like I'm still gonna see it, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one. Something that I am really interested in. Widows, coming out November 6th. The new Steve McQueen movie about a bunch of widows who go into heist mode after their husbands were all killed and they owe a lot of money to bad people.
Yeah, engage heist mode.
Yeah, so this has got, I mean, Steve McQueen, you know him from Hunger, from Shame, 12 Years a Slave.
Those are his, I mean, he's only put 3 movies out so far, and he's already like kind of a legendary filmmaker.
Yeah, he's pretty, all of his movies are great.
Yeah.
And I don't have any reason to believe that this is going to be different, especially a lot of good reviews coming out of the festivals.
Yeah, anytime they start showing a movie this early, you know it's got to be good.
Yeah, Viola Davis looks like she's going to do her standard amazing work on everything that she touches. Daniel Kaluuya is also in this. He looks like he's going to be like Michelle Rodriguez. Like I'm pretty hyped up for it.
Yeah, I just love that this is such like a blockbuster premise, but the fact that it's being helmed by Steve McQueen, I feel like is going to add so much depth to it.
Definitely.
Man,
I'm pretty excited. I actually don't have like too much else to say, just that I think this will be a strong contender for I think it'll be a movie kind of like The Town, and I don't mean just like the heist. It'll be like a really well-made, well-crafted movie that'll get completely ignored around the Oscar season, but I hope not.
You think? I don't think they're going to ignore him. I don't think that they would ignore Steve McQueen. I could see him at least getting like a Best Director nomination for this film. Or
best, I think more like Best Screenplay, possibly like Best Original Screenplay.
Did he write it?
I think so. I could be wrong.
That would be interesting as well. But yeah,
you know, even if he didn't write it, I could see it getting a good review.
Oh yeah,
I could see the screenplay being good.
Yeah, I think this is like the first movie he hasn't written that he's just directing. But still, the reviews are great. The trailers look great, and he's a reliable director. So I'm there.
Oh wow!
Opening night.
Screenplay was co-written by him and Gillian Flynn.
Oh, really?
The writer of Gone Girl and Sharp Objects.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm there. I am there.
I'm hyped. It's interesting. The first place it gets released is Nigeria.
What?
Yeah.
Wonder why.
Very interesting. I wonder.
All right, let's move on to a movie about white people.
Yeah, one that doesn't look very good. Mary, Queen of Scots Saoirse Ronan playing Mary, Queen of Scots, and Margot Robbie playing Elizabeth I, right?
Is it Elizabeth I or Elizabeth? I don't remember. Dude, I don't know my English history.
Elizabeth II is the one who's alive right now.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Fuck.
The names don't matter, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, so this is Elizabeth Elizabeth I, okay. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so basically 2 like half sisters, and one is like, I'm the Queen of Scotland, basically, and the other one's like, I'm the king of all this England. And
all this England.
Yeah. So as we know, the things don't go well for Mary, Queen of Scots. Saoirse Ronan playing the titular character, Margot Robbie playing Elizabeth. It looks like very much a something that, because Margot Robbie is becoming quite like the producer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think she produced I, Tonya. She produced that other movie that wasn't that good. I can't remember what it's called. The hotel movie, not the hotel movie.
Hotel
Artemis. No, it was a different movie where she plays like a assassin.
Oh, Terminal?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that wasn't great.
Me as well. And so it'll be interesting to see how well this one does. It looks like a pretty boring Oscar bait movie.
Yeah, like I'm sure this is probably going to get some of the below the line nominations, like set design and costume design, because I think it looks good. And like, you know, you always need talented people to pull off a good period piece.
Yeah, definitely. And it's,
But yeah.
But Saoirse Ronan doesn't sound like she's even trying to do a Scottish accent.
Yeah,
she really sounds like she's doing her Irish
speaking in her
accent.
regular voice, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Margot Robbie's always like good, but this kind of looks like a everyone banking on getting this like crazy passion project of like historical women being badass.
Yeah,
and it just looks like they thought that was going to carry it, and it does not look very interesting.
No, and like there's so many lines in the trailer, like you know exactly what market they're going for, because there's so many lines in the trailer about just like the men being like, How are we serving these women? Like, we're so much smarter than they are.
Yeah, and they're like, you're serving me because I'm the queen. It's like, sure, all right, whatever.
Yeah, that's how royalty fucking works, dipshits.
Yeah, what, you're saying it's unfair that you're following somebody that you didn't pick? Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now it's a woman, now it's different.
Yeah, are you being misogynist, or are you just criticizing the political system of monarchies?
I think they're being mostly misogynist. I think that's the movie's kind of game is being like, look at this story of, I mean, it is cool. Like 2 extremely powerful women, like going, you know, fighting.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know what? Quick side digression. I don't want to talk about this too much, but the best, I want a film adaptation of the best pirate, the most powerful pirate known to man, which was a Chinese woman. I forget what her name was, but she had a fleet of like thousands of ships. And I don't know why we haven't gotten that story yet, because that sounds badass as fuck. Well,
Rob, as we all know, this is a movie about white women.
Yeah.
That's why it's getting made.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, now that China's box office is booming, though, maybe we will. Then again, they probably don't want piracy movies because they don't want any dissent from their citizens. So
yeah, exactly. I'm sure they have a tight control over what happens. And
what a bummer.
It's weird that a lot of like Chinese blockbusters even. They still have like an international cast, and the Chinese market still love Hollywood actors.
Oh yeah.
Like we saw that thing with like The Great Wall with Matt Damon, just like this huge Chinese, production.
And Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. That just has like, oh, who's the main guy? It's like, is the Chinese like, no, it's Matt Damon. It's like, why is it Matt Damon? Because that's who the audiences want to see.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't see Matt Damon in China.
Yeah.
I wish that movie was better.
Yeah, because it was a huge budget, right?
It's a huge budget, and like it's a cool concept, and like it felt like what should have been like a live action Mulan, but
yeah. Well, I mean, it did pretty well. Like it made double its budget.
Yeah, mainly from China, I think. I don't know many people in America that went to go see that.
Yeah, me neither. Which is, I would be interested to hear like the Chinese perspective on. Which obviously there's no one Chinese perspective because it's a huge ass country. But about like the diversity in their own films, like I'm sure there's a lot of people who are kind of pissed that like a lot of the bigger like Chinese movies also have to have like Americans in them.
Yeah.
Or like big Hollywood stars. But I wonder if they're just like, yeah, no, we want more of that. Like, I don't know. I only have my own opinions.
You don't have the opinions of an entire nation.
Yeah, not yet.
That's what the podcast is for.
It's about assimilating opinions.
Yeah. We're an opinion aggregator.
Hell yeah, we are. So Mary Queen of Scots doesn't come out till December, so don't even worry about it. Like, I am not super excited to see it.
If it starts getting good reviews, earlier, maybe I'll pay more attention to it. But at the moment, I don't really care.
Even if it gets good reviews, I don't see myself. I mean, because you can get good reviews and still be like not that great of a movie.
Yeah.
Especially with like the Oscar bait stuff.
Yeah.
This is why I think it's important to kind of like go through like what is actually going to be good. Yeah. And I think there's like the movies that end up doing really well are the movies that are different a little bit.
Yeah.
In their
not
in their
just
own
another
ways.
historical epic. Yeah.
Yeah. But who knows? So
speaking of different movies.
Yeah, we've got the remake from what's his name?
Luca Guadagnino.
Okay, I thought you were gonna do a weird pasta reference again.
Oh man, I should have. I missed it though.
Yeah, Luca Gorgonzola, and so it's Suspiria, the remake of the Italian horror classic, which I've never seen, but it is got kind of mixed reviews coming out right at the beginning.
Is it? I didn't know any reviews were out.
It was it showed up at I think Venice. No, I think this might have been TIFF again, where it got like half the audience gave a standing ovation, the other half was like, I'm not having any of it.
That's just any film festival though.
Yeah. It's all about the standing ovation because the people are right there. That's what they don't like tell. They're like, wow, a 10-minute standing ovation. Like, yeah, like it's not like people are just clapping for a screen. It's like, oh, like the directors are like,
the creators
all
are
the famous people are right there. Yeah. And so, and I hear it's very gory.
Oh wow, yeah, it only has a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It's got 21 reviews.
Yeah, I've heard it is kind of like polarizing. That, but I mean, I'm a big fan. I think Dakota Johnson is an underrated actress.
It's because she attached herself to the fucking Grey series.
Yeah, which I would too. Like if they're like, hey, we'll pay you millions of dollars. All you gotta do is be naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good that she's like coming into her own and like doing well. It's also got Tilda Swinton, who is always fascinating to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of hers. This, it looks interesting, but I don't know if it's always tough when you're going for like prestige horror.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the more terrifying it is, the harder it is for people to take it like seriously. Hereditary is kind of a standout in that regard.
I wonder if Hereditary is going to get any Oscar nominations. Like, I think Toni Collette definitely deserves one for her performance.
I agree. I don't think it's going to happen, just because there's so many good movies coming out and because that movie came out in like the summer.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, horror movies also can have a little bit of a staying power. It's like Silence of the Lambs came out on Valentine's Day and it won the Oscar. Like,
I don't know when The Exorcist came out, but I don't think that was during award season.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, we'll have to, honestly, one of the best movies of the year, but just absolutely horrifying.
Yeah. But so we'll see. Apparently, a lot of reviews are just saying that, like, people are calling it pretentious and also, like you said, very gory and disgusting, which understandably, I think maybe a turnoff for a lot of critics. But yeah, I'm still interested in seeing it. I don't know how much faith I have in it. I feel like Hereditary is still going to be like the horror film to beat in 2018.
Definitely.
But yeah, it'll at least be a good time to watch. Like, if it's not good, at least it's going to be like entertaining art house bullshit.
That's all I'm hoping for, truly.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving on. This is actually an interesting one. It's Under the Silver Lake, starring Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. I thought this movie was supposed to come out a lot earlier. Like
it was, but it got pushed back into Oscar season.
Oh wow, that's some faith.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it directed by David Robert Mitchell, the same guy who did It Follows, which is a modern horror classic.
Oh yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing this, but the reviews have been kind of middling.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Out of people who've seen it.
I've heard people describe, like, I don't really understand the plot fully from the trailers, but I've heard people describe the actual plot to me, and it sounds like a good time, at least something I'd be into. That it's like, there's a pretty big focus on like Hollywood conspiracy, which sounds like fun.
It's, as I wrote in the notes, it's quirky Hollywood noir.
Yeah.
But I wonder
how quirky it's actually going to be, too. But I hear Andrew Garfield does a fantastic job in this movie.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty good actor.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a fan of
He deserved
Andrew.
a way better Spider-Man franchise than he got.
Well, I think it's good that it was bad, so it kicked him into doing other better movies.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, so I'm glad that he's found his kind of stride. I'm interested to see this movie more as like a fun thing. I'm not sure, I think this is A24, so them pushing it to Oscar season is interesting because I don't know what they're shooting for. It doesn't seem like it's been very good.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get Best Picture. Maybe Andrew Garfield gets a Best Actor nomination. But I heard that the cinematography in this film is also really good, so maybe that'll be like a surprise below the line nomination.
Yeah, I'm excited mainly for the talent behind it.
Yeah, I'm hyped for this movie as well. Another one, I think I'm a little more interested than I am confident, but seeing it nonetheless.
Yes. So this one comes out. Let's see. When did this one comes out? December 7th. So you got some time.
Yeah.
For that. I don't think we said Suspiria comes out October 26th, so right before Halloween.
Yeah, which is so obviously funny that they're releasing like such an art house horror film like Halloween week.
Yeah, we're all like the garbage Halloween movies usually come out.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to see just how Suspiria does box office wise as well.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure it was made for very little, but we'll see. All right, we're just moving right along. Here's one that could be interesting. I think this might be one that we just kind of hear about. And it's like, wow, that would seem like good. And then gets like some outside the box Oscar noms and then no one ever sees it again. Like, Albert Finney. Boy Erased coming out November 2nd, where Lucas Hedges, who had a big year last year, he was in like 3 movies that were nominated for Oscars.
Yeah.
He was the son from 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. He was the gay boyfriend friend in Lady Bird, and he was in another one, I think.
Was Manchester by the Sea 2016?
Yeah, that was the year before, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember what the third movie he was in was.
Yeah, but the point is, he's kind of been everyone just kind of came out of nowhere too. So he plays a young gay man who comes out and is a very religious family. So he gets sent to conversion therapy, to try and make him not gay, which, I bet you it doesn't work. This is actually, directed. I don't know if it's written by Joel Edgerton, who made his directorial debut with The Gift, a very European style thriller. Yeah. Very psychosexual,
those Europeans love psychosexuality.
Yeah, exactly. So that was it was very well made, very disturbing movie. Mm-hmm. And I'm interested. It seems like Joel Edgerton can really do.
He can do both. He's a talented actor, and apparently he's a good director. And I think this movie looks pretty good. It's based on a true story, and I could definitely see like the cast is kind of stacked in this. Like there are so many Academy Award nominated players in this film.
Yeah, and you've got Nicole Kidman, who's always amazing. Yeah. I could see her possibly getting nominated and winning for this just because she's always like a favorite. Like she always does well. Yeah. And it's kind of a safe thing for everyone to be like, oh, I'd feel comfortable voting for Nicole Kidman on this. She's great all the time.
Yeah, I think Russell Crowe's a pretty similar situation. Like, and I feel like from the trailer, it looks like that, he's obviously the antagonist of the story, but it looks like he's gonna do a good job at bringing complexity into like how someone who's so entrenched in their religious convictions can have like internal conflict when they, have a gay son and they're trying to figure out what's the right thing to do while still adhering to their moral code.
Yeah. So I think this has mainly got the big, 2 Oscar winners supporting the rest of this movie. Could bring out like a lot of good things. Yeah. It looks like it's going to be well made and interesting. I think it's just about how much attention it's going to get.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe they'll do a bigger marketing push once it gets closer to release, because this comes out on November 2nd. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we will see. I am lukewarm on this.
Is that a pun?
No, it's not a pun. It could be, though. I think Hedges is really good. It'll be good to see him kind of play in his element.
Are you hedging your bets on this movie?
I am, whatever that means. Yep. All right, let's go through this this next guy here. If Beale Street Could Talk.
Also very excited for this.
Yes, the adaptation of the James Baldwin novel of the same name by Barry Jenkins, the director of Moonlight. Yeah. So I've heard a lot of good things about this movie.
Have you seen Moonlight yet?
I have not. I have to see it before this comes out.
Yeah, you do.
Just so I can refrain. The big story from this is Moonlight was not a fluke. If Beale Street Could Talk is supposed to be a pretty amazing movie.
Yeah.
So I think, especially with the broadening of the Oscar base this year, I think we could see some nominations coming out of this, where traditionally there was only room for, one black movie or one movie up like with minorities. I think we're really going to see more acceptance of these kind of smaller movies with more diverse casts.
Yeah, it's going to be this and Black Panther nominated for Best Picture.
I think because traditionally I think this would be, I always think about, Selma, which didn't really get a whole lot, like Best Song, whatever. It's like still an amazing movie with a lot of great performances. It was
nominated though for a lot. I think it was nominated. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Performance from David Oyelowo.
Yeah, and that's a historical movie. This is like kind of a true fiction novel, or true like fictional tale. So I think this could do pretty well. I don't really know too many of the people in it. A lot of newcomers.
All I know is Regina King.
Yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I don't know hardly anything about this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think just from the trailers, it looks very stylish. It has that same, I don't think it's going to be as gritty as I think Moonlight was, but I think that Barry Jenkins understands, he's a very good romantic director. So I think this movie is definitely going to be a tearjerker.
Yeah.
More so than Moonlight? I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think this one could definitely come out strong. It comes out November 30th. So, I mean, definitely keep an eye out for this one. I'm pretty positive on this one. All right. So that is all of the Oscar bait movies we chose to talk about right now. That's kind of the broad swath of it. And I think it's going to cover some ones that are going to get talked about the most.
Yeah.
So the big ones to look for are A Star Is Born. It comes out pretty much, in 2 weeks, October 5th. You got A Beautiful Boy. Look out for Timothée Chalamet and Steve Carell for Best Actor nominations. Coming out October 12th. First Man, again, you're looking at Best Director, definitely. Not win, but like a nomination. Nominations for Ryan Gosling, probably Claire Foy. Who knows? Corey Stoll, I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
But I think, you're going to get a lot of buzz from that. Cinematography, definitely too, for October 12th. That one, I'm going to see in IMAX. I would recommend. If I'm only basing that on, I saw the trailer in IMAX and it looks like you're not going to want to miss some of the more intense scenes outside of the IMAX experience.
Definitely seeing it in IMAX too.
Yeah, shell out the money, people. We got Bohemian Rhapsody, which is kind of the wild card in this. It comes out November 2nd, and it could go. This is really going to go either way. I doubt you're going to get a Best Picture nom. If anything, it's going to be Rami Malek getting
I feel like
Best
that's
Actor.
The only chance at a nomination that we're going to get.
Yeah, so
maybe
that really
costume
hinges.
design, maybe makeup, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe. The Academy does love when one person looks like another person. That's been a kind of standard when they really like it. They really like historical roles. But again, I think that the changing demographics of the Academy is going to change how we think about Oscar bait movies.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're thinking like white period piece.
Old white people are normally the ones that are voting for all these films. But I'm curious to see what the nominations end up being this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a wide variety because usually you see, and that was kind of the whole point of expanding the Best Picture nominations.
Yeah,
was to get, you know, a greater diversity of films. And I think actually increasing the diversity among the people voting is going to create much more diversity than anything else.
Yeah. And like, I don't think I'm hoping we get another Oscar year. Like 2009, I think was one of the most surprising Oscar nomination years. Because that's when we had both Toy Story and District 9 up for Best Picture.
Yeah, that was the first year that they did the expansion, didn't they?
Yep, where they had like 8 films instead of 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully
based
that's
on the Dark Knight rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bohemian Rhapsody, and then Widows, which I think is going to be a big crowd pleaser. I think this actually might do better than any of them since it's got like a pretty diverse cast. It's going to be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's got one of the best directors like alive behind it.
Yeah.
You also have him writing it and Gillian Flynn also co-writing it. So you're getting a lot to process. And I think just because of how rawly entertaining it's going to be, it's going to get more of a crossover for everybody.
Yeah.
And people love Viola Davis. I could see her winning Best Actress for this.
Yeah, if I put my chips on the table, I'm betting Widows gets Best Director nomination, Best Actress nomination for Viola Davis, maybe Best Picture, but I'm not entirely sure yet. But I feel like it's safe-ish to say that this is going to get a Best Picture nomination. And like you said, I think it's because of that wide, entertaining appeal that just this kind of story has.
Best Original Screenplay, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think the last one that I'm going to add one more is If Beale Street Could Talk will definitely be a sleeper. I think it's going to sneak up on people. It's going to be one of those that's like, because a bunch of nominations, everyone's like, oh man, I forgot to see that. Like,
yeah. I mean, if it ends up winning Best Picture again, or if Barry Jenkins wins Best Picture again, that'd be pretty crazy. But yeah, I don't think that there's a lot of hype behind this movie. And I think you're right. I think a lot of people are going to see the nominations it's getting and then be like, oh, I never saw that. I should see that.
Yeah. So I definitely think if you want to see one movie that you're going to be like, all your friends will be like, oh, wow, like, what's that movie? I've never even heard of it. And you're like, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it before all you yahoos.
Yeah.
So that comes out November 30th. So keep an eye out for that. I'm pretty excited for that one. That's like my big boring drama that looks really good for me. Okay. So those are our picks for Oscar bait. And now we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to go for the flicks. Going to run through. There's some movies that I'm highly anticipating in this, and also a lot of hot garbage. So
hot
we're going to
garbage keeps you warm.
Yeah. Speaking of hot garbage, we got Venom coming out October 5th.
I can't believe you didn't put this in the Oscar section.
Yeah, really. If Tom Hardy gets an Oscar nomination, I'll blow my brains out.
Film is dead at that point.
Yeah, so this is the PG-13 horror-esque Marvel movie from
but like not
whatever his name is.
Not really Marvel. It's
Butch Flesher, whatever his name is.
What?
What's the guy's name who's directing this?
Oh, Ruben Flesher?
Ruben Flesher, yeah.
Butch
Ruben.
Flesher, yeah.
Butch Flesher, it's all the same to me.
Yeah, this movie, it really does look like hot trash. And I thought that, like, I feel like it's going to be even worse now because the director and the studio have clearly been clashing. Like, he's come out at comic conventions before and said, like, yeah, I'm directing this movie as if it was like a hard R-rated Venom. And then only recently Sony's come out and been like, actually, maybe we shouldn't because we want to be able to tie it into, like, the rest of the universe and, like, use this as a springboard for other PG-13 blockbusters. Yeah,
which is really just Sony being greedy and thinking they can get in on, like, it's really Sony trying to, like, steal the prestige that's come with being like an MCU movie.
Yeah, like they have that, they make that Marvel logo so fucking big on all their trailers and all the posters.
Yeah, and I think that's really going to fuck up this movie. I think that Sony hasn't learned their lesson that they should not be like the MCU because they created a bunch of great, movies before. And now, like, they're just, all the superhero people are getting on their, like, really the biggest fuck-ups in the superhero movies going for the last, like, 8 years have been studios trying to replicate the MCU success.
Yep.
And these successes have come from people trying to do the complete opposite of that. Like Deadpool and Logan. You're getting movies that are just like, we're going to completely do our own thing because we know we can't do MCU better than these guys.
Yeah.
And those have paid off very well. Some of the Logan made more money than X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah. So like I thought that Sony would just take that cue and be like, hey, we can do like a hard R-rated friend. Like there's clearly a market for it because all these fucking comic book nerds that grew up watching like the Sam Raimi trilogy are old enough to see R-rated movies now. Which is why I think like Logan and Deadpool did so well.
Yeah, and they were unabashedly themselves. And so that's why I think this one is going to be, it's just going to be a weird, edgy, it's going to be all the worst parts of Spider-Man 3, but in a whole movie.
Yeah.
I think. Like,
dude,
that's what it's going to end up being.
Dances.
Oh, yeah, I hope. And Tom Hardy looks like he's all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean,
man, what would get me interested, though, in this is if for the sequel, one, I wonder how this movie's going to do financially. I wonder if anyone's actually excited for it. But if they had a sequel...
It's pacing pretty high. It's pacing to have like a $70 million weekend.
Yeah, I believe it. It's still a pretty big property. And it's Spider-Man. And people can't get enough of Spider-Man.
Yeah, and they like Tom Hardy, too.
But I would love to see Sam Raimi come back and direct like a Venom sequel. I think that'd be so fun. Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be amazing.
But yeah.
Because that's what Sam Raimi is based in, like horror, comedy. Yeah. Like this honestly seems what he should be doing.
Yeah. And I don't know, like Ruben Fleischer, he had Zombieland and I love Zombieland, but he hasn't done anything good since.
Yeah, what else has he done?
He did Gangster Squad with Ryan Gosling and Sean Penn. He did 30 Minutes or Less with Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, yeah, I remember we saw that.
Yeah.
That was not very good.
No. And I think that's it. He did some TV shows, I think, for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, so this is his next big chance.
And so I don't have too much faith in this movie.
Yeah, me neither. We'll see. Moving on to a movie that we're going fast and hard with these transitions. Movie that I am pretty excited for. Actually, probably I'm most excited for this entire like fall season is Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, this
coming out October 12th. Very interesting. It's an ensemble, quirky noir movie starring Jon Hamm, Jeff Bridges, Chris Hemsworth, Dakota Johnson, and a lot of other people.
So many people.
And I still can't figure out what this movie's about, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
It just looks very stylized.
Like, I feel like you know enough of the premise. Like all these like questionable people are meeting at this hotel that's in the middle of nowhere for some reason. And that's it.
And they've all got one connection.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested. Like you got great people. Jon Hamm's always great. Jeff Bridges, Oscar winner. Hemsworth, who is a very adept dramatic actor who's been pretty misused by the MCU, I think, until very recently.
Yeah.
Like he's been figuring out his stuff outside of the MCU, and the MCU has not been paying attention until like the last like 2 movies.
Ragnarok. Yeah,
it's like, Infinity War. This guy is not just hugely, not just like really good looking and huge.
Yeah, he's not just a hunka.
Yeah, he is a hilarious, amazing dramatic actor. Like Ron Howard saw it with what was that movie about the race car drivers? Rush.
Dude, yeah, Rush is so good.
Great in that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him in what is it? Men in Black, the Men in Black reboot.
Oh yeah,
that looks fun. And I love that he's like he's a dramatic actor, but he's also like got great comedic timing as well. And I think Thor Ragnarok showed that better than anything.
Definitely, and this looks like he's capitalizing on his drama with his.
It looks like both,
comedic timing.
He's just he looks like he's going to be a very charismatic serial killer in this movie.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for this. Especially they've been going. It's a hard R movie.
Yeah,
I've only seen like red band trailers, pretty much.
Yeah,
so they're really trying to make this. This is an adult movie for adults.
Yeah. Oh, and the last thing, it's directed by Drew Goddard, who did Cabin in the Woods, which is also a fantastic film if you haven't seen it yet. Which also has Chris Hemsworth in it.
Yeah, I assume that's where he got this guy.
Yeah.
Did it also have Dakota Johnson in
it? Did it? I would believe you if you said it did, because I just remember that Chris Hemsworth was the biggest name in that movie when it came out. And it's just because Thor had just come out as well.
Yeah, no, I don't think she was in it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing her name.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this looks good. I have a lot of faith in this. I'm most excited to see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's keep it going. Number 3 is Mowgli. yet another Jungle Book reboot. I don't really care.
Yeah, moving on.
I don't even want to talk about this.
Next movie.
Andy Serkis, who cares? This one I'm actually excited to see, even though the reviews have been like, okay.
Oh, have they? I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty decent. I've heard some people say just a regular Halloween sequel. Some people saying it's like actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The new Halloween movie, which is a quote sequel to John Carpenter's original horror classic. This one's co-written by Danny McBride too, who's apparently a huge Halloween fan.
Oh yeah.
So this looks to be much more silent. I'm a pretty big Halloween fan. Everyone pretty much agrees. The first is
it's a classic
masterpiece, classic. Did a lot for the genre. All the other ones have been kind of much worse. And they get real weird. Just like all like horror franchises that just like eventually like, what if it's just magic at the end? Like, let's
that one time where they tried to make it an anthology series.
Oh yeah,
and then
the
immediately
season
forgot
of the
about
witch.
it. Yeah,
yeah, and I went immediately to the Return of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So this one looks to be more like it's replicating the style and substance of the very first one, which is the idea.
Yeah.
It looks very interesting.
But it looks like a total subversion of the original too, just by casting Jamie Lee Curtis in like that anti-final girl role. I'm so into that, and seeing how they've transformed her character from like just not only just like a survivor by happenstance, but like someone who's proactively taking action to stop this threat and not just running away now. Like, I love that she's like, I've been waiting 30 years to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the third. Yeah, so this looks, and just by the trailers, I'm pretty excited by it.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Danny McBride fan. I think if you watched Vice Principals, by the last like season, you getting some like horror-esque vibes.
Man, I still need to watch that.
Oh my god, it's amazing. Stylistically, it gets very intense. And so I have a lot of faith in this. David Gordon Green is also a pretty good director.
Yeah. Pineapple Express, man.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I have faith in this, and this looks like it's going to be a very scary, fun movie.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to number 5. We got Creed number 2 coming out in November 21st.
I actually forgot this was coming out this year.
Yeah, I know,
it's kind of weird. Like the hype cycle, like Creed 1 is great. But this movie
completely surprising too.
It's Ryan Coogler is not coming back to direct. I don't know who the director is for this one. I don't know if they have a track record at all.
It's not a good track record, I remember.
It's a bummer. Like at least Michael B. Jordan is coming back. But yeah, man, like the hype cycle is just not there. They're not really marketing it. I doubt Sylvester Stallone is going to get another supporting actor nomination like he did for the first Creed.
Yeah, definitely not.
But yeah.
But it looks, it's interesting. Ivan Drago's son basically come in for to finish the job, like
which
to
is
kill
kind of
off
hilarious. But I feel like that's hilarious, but also like I feel like that's leaning too much into what the franchise is. Like I liked Creed because it felt like a reinvention of the Rocky franchise, but now they're like, oh, but now we have this fucking Russian boxer coming in to finish the job of his dad killing, like his dad killed his father, and now the son has to come do the same to his son. I'm like, that's a little out there. Like the Creed 1, I think was great because of how grounded it felt.
Yeah, and I think they could also do this one grounded. I think they're going to shoot for it. But that is such a thing that boxing promoters would do. Mm-hmm. Be like, hey, you know how this guy killed another guy in the ring? Well, both of their kids are now...
That's fair. Like, that is something that they would totally market it as.
That would be an HBO's, like, like I'm not even into boxing, but if they said like, hey, like these two guys, I would totally pay, like go to a bar and like watch that.
Yeah.
Cause it's got, that's the narrative is built into it. Like everything is, I think that makes a lot of sense for a boxing narrative.
Yeah.
And for that to be a huge payout fight for really good boxers.
I hope that Clubber Lang had a kid who comes back to fight, Creed and Creed 3.
Right, and kill Sylvester Stallone. That'd be a good sign off.
Yeah. That's how we say goodbye to Rocky.
Right. So I'm only excited for this one based on the franchise. Like if it's anywhere close to being as good as Creed 1, I will be down to see it.
Same.
I'm a big Michael B. Jordan fan, big Sly fan. I like the Rocky movies. I've liked the last, 2 Rocky movies. I liked Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa is good.
Yeah,
Creed is good.
Better than Rocky 5. Creed is amazing. Creed is probably, I think, the best or the second best Rocky movie.
Yeah, I would agree. I would put it second best. I think just because Creed wouldn't exist without the original Rocky.
Yeah, true. So I'm willing to say that one looks pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Going on number 6. Aquaman.
I'm so wet for this movie.
What does that even How long were you sitting on that one?
As soon as I saw it on the list.
So this is really going to be a make or break point for I think if this movie flops, they're going to do a very hard reset.
Yeah, I think they're going to release
universe.
Wonder Woman 2 and then Shazam, and then they're going to be like, all right, time to reboot it. Honestly, or just shut it fucking down and keep doing solo projects like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
Yeah, honestly, that would not be a bad idea.
Yeah,
just keep churning them out. Wait to age out all the other actors.
Yeah,
do another Justice League.
Yeah,
because they really it's at this point it's comical.
Get Zack Snyder back. Let him make the movie he wanted to make. This
movie has to be good.
Yeah, I mean it looks fun. It looks like it's very tonally different from the rest of the DC Cinematic Universe movies. And James Wan, I think, is a fantastic director. I think he really knows how to do action set pieces, and he's got a really good sense of humor about it too. That's why I think that Furious 7 is still the best in the Fast and Furious franchise. I really like Patrick Wilson. I think Jason Momoa is kind of like a point of contention for this franchise because a lot of people don't like how like surfer dude they made him, but I don't have that big of a problem with it.
Which, yeah, if Aquaman is going to exist today, he's going to be surfer. Like Jason Momoa is like the perfect choice. I feel like.
And like I'm down to have these crazy ass fucking underwater wars with sea dragons and shit. And it looks colorful too.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to rely a lot on how good the CGI looks. Yeah, which is unfortunate.
It's all underwater. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're really going to be. I don't know about this movie. I know you're really excited for it. I don't
even know. Like, I don't think it's going to be like, I don't think it's going to get great reviews, but I think it's going to be fun. And I think that James Wan knows it. Like, nobody on this project is taking it seriously.
Right. Yeah. Which could be a problem. I don't know. I think we unknowingly, the DC universe really, like the future of it relies on this movie, which is not how it should be. Like
they're trying to make Aquaman the new Superman.
Well, just like the MCU got basically like mulligans with all of its Phase 1 movies besides like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, and Wonder Woman versus like Iron Man, like those are like the big first run movies, but
this is their Phase 2.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, DC screwed everything up. I think we can all admit this. As much as I enjoy a lot of like the DC movies, I think they get a lot more shit than they deserve. I think they really goofed up their shared universe.
I think that they were too scared by what Snyder wanted to do. And they're like, no, we can't do that. We can't do anything that complex. Like, I know that he wanted to set up the whole like Flashpoint story arc. He wanted to set up the Darkseid War. But then Warner Brothers was like, no, just copy the Avengers.
Yeah, just get one big bad and they'll fight the big bad.
Yeah. He didn't. That's the thing. DC,
the Justice League is all about the big bads, though.
Yeah, there was supposed to be big bads, but the thing is, the DC universe at the moment, it felt like Zack Snyder clearly wanted to set up a mythology within this universe, whereas the Marvel universe is like a lot more, I don't know, playful,
task oriented.
Yeah. But that's neither here nor there because Zack Snyder's not involved with DC anymore, and DC's probably going to reboot their entire universe at some point soon. So
yeah, they're getting rid of Ben Affleck. They're getting rid of Henry Cavill. Really,
nobody actually knows if that's happening or not, though. There are just people reporting on it. But then you have Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck coming out in public and being like, "Hey, those stories are bullshit. I'm still Batman. I'm still Superman." Like, so nobody knows what's happening. But yeah, we'll see. The entire franchise is a mess, and Aquaman just looks like fun, and I just like James Wan. And it looks like that's the direction they're going with the rest of their films. Like Shazam looks the same way. It just looks like a stupid, fun movie that doesn't take itself seriously at all. In fact, they might they're probably going to mock themselves with by saying like how serious the previous films were and being like, why is a dude dressed in a bat like brooding all the time?
Yeah, I think Henry Cavill's out. I think he's definitely in talks for the next James Bond. That's really just like my conjecture. I don't think because think about when they're going to do another Superman movie.
I don't think he's out. I've also heard that, they're trying to get George Miller to come in and direct Man of Steel 2, which I would also be down for. And Henry Cavill, he's posted on his Instagram, like he keeps posting these cryptic messages of him holding up like Superman merchandise with like the Superman music playing in the background. So it's like, nobody knows what's happening.
Yeah, he's a weird dude though.
He's a fucking nerd. I love it. I love Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. I'm really waiting for. I think they should use the next movie that should come out is Flashpoint, and they should use it as like a hard reset.
Yeah,
the universe. I think it'd be such a good idea for people who don't know at home. The Flashpoint is a comic story arc where the Flash runs so fast.
Yeah.
He goes back in time and he fucks everything up, basically.
Yeah.
He stops Bruce Wayne's parents from being killed. Or no, Bruce Wayne is killed instead of his parents.
Yeah.
And his parents kind of go crazy. His dad becoming a violent Batman. His mom going crazy and becoming the Joker.
Yeah. Superman gets captured by the U.S. government and is put in like this like radiation container as a child. So when he grows up, he's just this like frail, broken man.
Yeah, I think, and then he comes back and everything is going to be different. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a younger everyone, I think.
Jake Gyllenhaal's playing Superman.
That would be maybe, yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, he can get pretty buff, but I don't know if he can get like Henry Cavill buff.
Henry Cavill is a Hulk of a man.
He's a monster.
He is gigantic. You look like the first like image of him. If you search Henry Cavill on Google Images, it's a picture of him like shirtless. Where you're just like, wow, he's at the peak of like the amount of muscles that his body can take.
You know what's crazy though is Ben Affleck got even more jacked than Henry Cavill did for Batman vs Superman. He's also just taller than Henry Cavill. So Ben Affleck's a big guy.
Got like stupid ripped for like one heavy training scene in Batman vs Superman. You're just like, oh wow, he's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we'll see about moving on to other movies that we're not excited for.
We got Bumblebee, the prequel, spinoff, whatever you want to call it, of the Transformers series, coming out right before Christmas, same time as Aquaman, December 21st.
Yeah. What a competition.
Yeah, this movie looks like it, honestly, it looks like it could be more entertaining than the last 4 Transformers movies.
It's not directed by Michael Bay. It's actually directed by Travis Knight, who is the director of all the Leica Studio films. Like he directed Paranorman and Kubo and the Two Strings. I don't remember if he directed. I don't think he directed Coraline, but he works a lot in stop motion animation, and I think he's a significantly better director than Michael Bay. So we'll see. He's also the son of the owner of Nike.
Really?
Yeah, which is how he could afford to start his own stop motion animation studio.
I'm glad he's using his power for good.
Right? I was going to say, if you have that much money, at least he's putting it towards good art.
Truly. Yeah, this looks, I mean, it looks entertaining, but in the same, like, bullshit, like, kitsch that all the other Transformers movies have.
Yeah.
Like, they cannot, they get in their own way of making, like, an interesting story.
Yeah.
Because this is just going to be, like, a regular Transformers movie, but it's just Bumblebee.
It's just one, yeah. And hopefully there's, like, a lot less racial stereotyping in this movie than in the mainstream Transformers movies.
Yeah,
so
hopefully.
We'll see.
I bet there's only going to be white people in it, so...
Yeah.
Who really...
Just Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, is that who's
I think that's
the main
girl's name, yeah, Haley Steinfeld. I forget what else she was in, but I know she's been in, like, other things.
I think she's a Disney star.
I believe it.
Yeah,
not much to say about this movie. The trailers don't really look that great. I'm really just curious to see if Travis Knight can save the Transformers franchise.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on that, but I don't think it's even going to be that good.
Yeah, same. Other movies that I don't think are going to be that good. Girl in the Spider's Web.
Yeah. This one actually I have a little bit more faith. It's going to be a soft reboot of David Fincher's surprisingly good Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movie. That came out with Rooney Mara and Daniel Craig. This one looks to be more leaning on the Swedish markets.
Yeah.
Cause so there are 3 books in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. It's, called the Millennium series.
There's 4.
There's 4 currently, but there's 3 main books. This is the 4th in line that wasn't actually written by the original author, Stieg Larsson.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like half written, and then his partner helped finish it. This is what we got. Claire Foy looks like, she'll be good in it. I don't know if I believe her, though, is like kind of a more badass role.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she's a great actress, but, I'm very used to her and the Crown and stuff like that. I haven't really seen her in anything that would suggest she would be good as kind of like a badass hacker lady who
Hackerman,
Hackerman, who beats the shit out of abusers.
Yeah, like Rooney Mara really sold it, and I think Rooney Mara is an extremely talented actress.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe it's just because I am such a fan of the original or not the original, but the American Dragon Tattoo. And I think that I think most people would agree that David Fincher's Dragon Tattoo film is better than the original Swedish trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just grown so attached to seeing her playing that character that it's kind of weird to see Claire Foy playing this character, and it doesn't seem as convincing.
Yeah, I think it's a movie to watch. It could go either way for me. I think right now it's kind of looking at, the most recent trailer gave away kind of the twist of the movie.
Yeah.
So usually I think that happens when they don't have faith that people are going to see it.
Yeah.
Based on it looking good. They're like, oh, wow, well, here's the plot,
Yeah. Also, stylistically, it just doesn't look as boundary pushing as David Fincher's, which I think is to be expected because it's Fincher.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's a ripoff of Fincher's style.
Yeah, it's got the same color palette, but that's just because they probably have a David Fincher color filter saved on the Sony studios right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they're using that to sell everything. So that comes out November 9th, so kind of right in the middle of that's like the James Bond slot,
Yeah.
So it'll be a kind of a thriller. I don't know. I'm looking for other stuff.
Yeah, we'll see.
Coming up next is one that I haven't heard too much about. It's called Serenity, coming out October 19th. It's a thriller where Anne Hathaway comes to Matthew McConaughey asking if he can kill her abusive husband, played by Jason Clarke.
Yeah.
And throw his body in the ocean to the sharks. And it looks like it's a very like a Cape Fear type psychological thriller.
Yeah.
The Robert De Niro movie from Martin Scorsese from the 90s. It looks interesting, but I can't place it. I mean, I love, obviously, Anne Hathaway, Jason Clarke, Matthew McConaughey, really good team up, but it's giving me some interesting vibes.
Yeah, I thought the trailer, I saw one trailer for it, and that's all I've heard about this movie, in front of Hereditary, and I thought the trailer was really well done. And if the movie can maintain the tone of the trailer and that level of tension, I think I'll be interested in seeing it. And it's being directed by the same guy who did Locke with Tom Hardy, that all takes place in the car.
Oh yeah, I remember that movie.
So I'm pretty interested in this. I'm probably going to wait for reviews to come out to see if it's a misfire, but at the moment I'm decently interested.
Yeah, it sounds like a good movie when it comes on HBO or a streaming service. Check it out.
Yeah.
But other than that, not too interesting. But the next movie is actually, I'm very interested in.
Me too.
Yeah, Overlord, coming out November 9th. It was previously going to be part of the Cloverfield universe.
Dude, it still might be.
Yeah, truly, it might be, just because it doesn't have Cloverfield in the name.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not, because that franchise, they kind of killed it with the Cloverfield paradox.
Yeah, one of the worst movies of that.
Yeah,
that Netflix has put out.
What a bummer.
What a tease. This one looks actually, especially with the trailer, kind of with the Hell's Bells, doesn't look like a strict horror movie. Kind of looks like the vibe of
an action
the Call of Duty Nazi zombies.
Dude, it looks like a Wolfenstein movie.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. It looks very action heavy, revolving around the Nazi. There's always the crazy mythology behind the Nazi scientists and what they were working on. Yeah, that they were working on a lot of weird occult stuff, that Hitler was really into occult stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we got the Hellboy franchise, which is super fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly. So so far this looks good. A lot of no-name actors, a lot of seemingly B-list people I don't know the names to.
Yeah, there's one guy, I don't know who he plays, but his name is Ian DeCaster, and he is from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC. And man, I love that actor because he elevates that material to, I think, a level that nobody else can. And it's one of the reasons that I am like a total Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. evangelist, is because the performances he puts in that show are next level. And I don't think he gets nearly enough attention for it.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I'm so far excited. It looks like a pretty intense, fun movie.
Yeah.
You know, it looks just like a popcorn.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to have a lot of body horror and a lot of violence, but it's also not going to take itself seriously.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to really
if you're
need.
making a Nazi zombie movie, like you can't have a serious tone.
Yeah, and that's why it coming out after Halloween is making me wonder like what they're going for. Like it's not like a spooky movie. It makes to me that's what it says.
It's
saying we're coming out
it's an action
second
movie.
week of November. You know.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
I'm excited.
But I'm excited. And then we got, this is kind of the finishing moves for a big franchise. This is the only like big franchise movie that's kind of coming out.
Yeah.
That's really going to like, this is like a surefire hit.
Oh yeah.
The new Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, The Crimes of Grindelwald, coming out November 16th. We know the Harry Potter franchise. We know this is going to make a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
We know this is going to be an actual, darker entry into the series. We're kind of getting back to what the original plan. I think it's going to be a quintilogy. I think there's going to be 5 movies in the Fantastic Beasts franchise.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So it's really going to go into the battle. Grindelwald, who is an old friend, implied lover of Albus Dumbledore.
Yeah.
It's implied they had a romantic relationship in the books, and Johnny Depp looks interesting. He's going to be Grindelwald. He was the Voldemort before Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see where this franchise takes it. I think there is potential. And I think now that we know that everyone who read Harry Potter is grown up now, like we're all adult. Like,
yeah, you can do mature series. Like I would love to see like a hard R Harry Potter adaptation of like the Aurors, like the Wizard Police Force. So I feel like you could have you could have some pretty intense stories there. But yeah, I feel like Johnny Depp looks good as Grindelwald, and I think that his performance is going to be entertaining. I know that there's a lot of hate on Johnny Depp right now, but I don't know. I think he was an interesting casting choice for this character, and I think he's going to do a really good job. Like I think if you're going to have one actor that has to play like the proto Voldemort, it would be Johnny Depp.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited all around kind of for the movie. The special effects are always amazing in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
And it's got an all-star cast. Like Jude Law is coming in for Dumbledore.
Yeah, Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, Eddie Redmayne, always good.
But yeah, so I didn't really like I thought that the first Fantastic Beast was fine. That's the best way I can describe it. But it
was a sleeper. Yeah. It tricked everybody into being like thinking it was one thing when it actually turns out to be something completely different.
Yeah, but I'm significantly more interested in this one now that we're getting because I thought like the story of the first Fantastic Beasts 2 just didn't feel like it could actually go anywhere. But now that we know what the plot of this series, the new series is, I'm into it. Like I'm into this darker Harry Potter tone. This like that we actually have to deal with like war crimes, and we're not dealing with just like a chosen one.
Yes, this is definitely yes, and it just shows how big these worlds are that we all like. It's taking the Star Wars route, but more in a different path of deep digging into the mythology and be like, oh, this is gonna be cool.
Yeah,
like using all of the shared universe, but building it out in ways that we didn't expect. I'm excited for how this franchise is taking its own mythology.
Yeah. So I'm there.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's move on to our final. We're going to go over 2 Netflix movies that actually look good, which is surprising because Netflix is usually a dumpster
Netflix
for
just took their
movies
break
that can't
year.
get produced.
They took their break year in 2017. Now they're trying to get back into the game and become a series contender again.
Yeah. So the 2 movies we've got Hold the Dark, which is about a hunter played by Jeffrey Wright. You might know him as Bernard in Westworld. Got a lot of supporting roles across a lot of pretty good movies. This is his first like big leading role. And he plays a hunter come to kill some rogue wolves who apparently ate like a kid.
Yeah.
And the twist is apparently that it wasn't a wolf and he should watch his back. because some spooky stuff's going on.
Creepy ass Alaskan bullshit is happening.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see this. When does this come out, Robert?
This comes out, I think September. Oh, no. I was thinking of Maniac. October 21st.
Very cool. So that's coming out right around like Halloween.
Yeah.
And same with what's this other movie is The Apostle.
Apostle comes out October 12th.
So that comes out much closer.
Yeah.
And these are both kind of Halloween-y, like spooky movies.
Yeah. Hold the Dark, I think. I'm also very interested because it's from the director of Green Room and Blue Ruin, which are both fantastic films. Yeah. And they also, both of these movies just premiered at Fantastic Fest this weekend. And they're getting really good reviews.
Yeah, so you've got, which is all I really want from Netflix is just some nice, like, entertaining movies. I don't need that much prestige from them.
Yeah. Even though we are getting prestige movies, like we're getting Roma, from
truly, yeah.
What's Alfonso Cuarón? Is that
yeah?
He directed Roma, and that's coming out. Mm-hmm. I think that's December. I feel like that's going for some Oscars as well. Like they're screening it in a couple theaters because they think it's worthy of an Oscar nomination, and it's getting crazy good reviews. So
yeah, I think it's Mexico's bid for Best Picture.
Yeah,
or for
yeah, and it's based on the director's life too, his youth growing up.
Yeah, it's got all no-name actors. I mean, it should be very interesting.
Yeah. So Apostle is the other one I'm very interested in because it's
the Dan we talked about it,
Dan
a little
Stevens,
bit last week.
Yeah. And
Dan Stevens is known for The Guest, and who else is in it?
Michael Sheen. Yeah, he plays the cult leader. So
which should be interesting.
It looks like he's Michael Sheen is, I think, a super underrated actor because every movie he's in, he always plays this caricature, and he does such a good job. Like, I think
he's a surprisingly versatile actor.
Yeah, he was the best part, in my opinion, of Tron Legacy. Because he played like the flamboyant club owner, and man, he's just fun to watch.
Yeah, it's hard to find actors who you just enjoy watching them do kind of anything, like really just taking a part in like a role.
Yeah, but I've heard
and getting really into it.
Now that the reviews for Apostle have come out of Fantastic Fest, I've heard that the first 2/3 of the movie are like a return to horror for Gareth Evans. And it's very horror oriented, but then the third act, when Dan Stevens decides to like enact his plan and like when he just goes on a rampage against these cult leaders, you start to see like the Raid influences come in, which I'm like, I'm there to see that type of action, that martial arts action that Gareth Evans can bring. And it's also the same cinematographer and choreographer as the Raid series as well, just being done with like, these like white Protestant cultists instead of Indonesian police officers. I'm like,
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, that looks fun. And like, I feel like it works even better in a horror film because you have that, like, you have like almost 1.5 hours of just tension and horror and like fear. Then to get to see the main character come out and just like wreck everything sounds like a great way to end the movie.
Yeah, I'm very, very ready, very excited.
Yeah, I'm so glad it's on Netflix too, so I can just watch it as soon as it's out. Just get nice and comfortable.
Yeah. Nice and comfortable. Watch some entertaining movies. Mm-hmm. That's all I really want. And Netflix, hopefully, will start delivering on that.
Yeah, I think they're on the right track.
Yeah. So I think as far as flicks go, I think this is a little bit more subjective. I think we might have different things we want to see. Do you want to go over like your 5 movies that you're really looking forward to and that you think people should see?
Yeah, so I'll just go down my 5 movies real quick. I think number 1 for me is Bad Times at the El Royale.
Same with me, yeah.
Number 2 is Halloween. Mm-hmm. Number 3 is Aquaman. Number 4 is Overlord. And then number 5 is, I guess I don't have to say the Netflix movies because those are going to be on Netflix anyway. So, and I figure most people have Netflix at this point. So my 5th is going to be...
or they have someone's pastor.
Yeah. Fantastic Beasts is my number 5.
Yeah, I think I'm going very similar with you. I'm going Bad Times at El Royale is my number 1. Halloween, number 2. Creed, number 3, tentatively. Mm-hmm. And then Aquaman, 4. And I think I will put... Because I know... because I'm not super excited about Aquaman, I'm going to replace that with Overlord.
Yeah.
And then, if Venom is good, if the reviews come out that it's like half decent, I think that'll be a pretty entertaining movie, but I think it's going to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to opt more for Fantastic Beasts along with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah. I think it's a pretty good preview for the people getting it. We've run a solid chunk of time for everyone to figure out what movies they should see this fall.
And there's so many movies to see coming out this fall, whether you're into flicks or you're into the art house films.
Yeah, we didn't even come close to covering all the movies that are coming out. We had to cut a lot of movies that we didn't think were going to be very interesting. But this is kind of like the big meaty stuff.
Yeah.
So Rob, what's your like number one movie that didn't make it on these lists that you are looking forward to see?
I don't know. I don't remember what the entire release calendar looks like for the fall. There's so many movies coming out.
I know you were pretty excited about Wreck-It Ralph Break the Internet, right?
Oh, yeah. I forgot that's coming out in like November. So I'm very excited for that. What's yours?
As soon as I had asked that, I'm like, man, I don't really have it. Yeah, I don't have any idea. Actually, Dr. Seuss's The Grinch will be pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Illumination animated. Who's voicing the Grinch in that? Do you know?
I have no idea, but I doubt it's going to be any good. I might say that Spider-Man movie, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, I forgot that was coming out too. Yes. So Wreck-It Ralph and Into the Spider-Verse are two films that were not on this list, but I totally think are going to be worth seeing. And I think I'm actually more excited for Into the Spider-Verse because that aesthetic looks amazing. Like that's how you use 3D animation and make it stand out from the crowd.
Yeah. So I think we've got a lot for people to keep on their radar.
Yeah. Also, for reference, Benedict Cumberbatch is voicing the Grinch in the animated Grinch movie, which is hilarious.
I'm buying my tickets now.
Yeah, I got it on Fandango.
Perfect. Yeah, we're sponsored by Fandango. Yeah. For now. Call us Adam Tickets. All right. Well, this has been the good roundup of our good fall roundup, fall preview, what have you episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you have more insight into what you should see this fall, things to keep on your radar. So when you see the trailer in the movie theater, you think, that's the one that I got to see.
Yeah.
It looks good. My good friends, Rob and Dan, are telling us that it looks good. I'm going to see it. Spend your money wisely. That's how you vote in the box office.
Exactly.
Yeah. We will be coming out with a regular episode Wednesday, same as always. What movie again, Rob?
We're talking about White Boy Rick.
Yeah, starring newcomer Richie, whatever his name is.
Metcher?
Yeah, Merritt, something like that. Matthew McConaughey. Here are our thoughts.
Yeah.
We've got some interesting...
We have thoughts.
Thoughts on this. We have thoughts. That's why you come here, because we have thoughts and voices. So stay tuned for that. We hope you've enjoyed this, and we will catch you next time for I guess the next big feature episode we'll have is an Oscar preview episode.
Which will probably be after 2018 is over. So look forward to that in January.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys all next time. For now.
Bye.